Welcome to the Social Revolution. I'm John Nayler, and today joined by Alison Sheppard from the AJ Collective. Alison, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, John, thank you so much for having me this morning. This is great.
Yeah, well, that yet to be seen, I guess, but let's see where it leads.
Well, I'm just pre-framing that I'm hoping it'll be great.
Okay. Well, let's set out and achieve that. Well, off camera, we were talking about it, and we said, let's do the social revolution around this episode because there's a really important transition we've seen since the social revolution, as I love to call it, and that's what's happened to PR, what's happened to PR campaigns. So that's your background. Let's talk about some PR 101. I mean, what makes a good PR campaign?
Great question, John. So what makes a great PR campaign, and you have mentioned or touched on this social revolution. I think today what makes a good campaign is a combination of not only media coverage but also that social element, social media element, or digital as we can call it. I've seen some campaigns work incredibly well with a combination of print, digital, and then social media by way of social support or influencers being involved in a particular campaign.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that then, because I mean, for a lot of people, they'd say print is dead. Print is dead. Print's a waste of time. Who's reading print anymore?
People are reading print. They still are reading it. Look, I don't know the statistics on how many are actually reading it, but keep in mind too that print is also, although there's the tangible newspaper you can pick up and read, it is digital, it is online as well. And I think too, in terms of picking up a newspaper, the romance around grabbing a loaf of bread, grabbing a coffee, sitting and reading the newspaper, I think people still enjoy that process.
Yeah, true. I'm not going to fess up to like 2 weeks ago being at a coffee shop, breakfast, and there's a Sunday Mail, so I just started thumbing through it.
Exactly.
I'm betraying myself. I'm betraying my creed by reading anything in print. But it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And look, I could wax lyrical about social media and the role it plays. But the fact is the stuff that's curated, things that's laid out, and someone's managed that information. Said, look, read this. And we're spoiled for choice on social media, even in terms of what platform we use. So
absolutely.
So a newspaper or in digital form or in print form is still a way that we can sort of go, okay, these guys should have assembled something in some sort of tangible, manageable, way with some sort of credibility, hopefully.
Absolutely. Yeah, we a campaign that we ran recently for a charity that I do some pro bono work for called Pay Us Act Forward. We ran what we called late night thrifting. They have a thrift store that all funds raised go towards Pay Us Act Forward. So
what was it, midnight to dawn or something?
No,
like
it was actually it wasn't. It was 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So it was just a 3-hour window. Yeah. But what made that campaign so successful was we had a combination of print media, digital media, and social media influencer or blogger who collaborated with us on that. So
break that down for us.
Okay,
so number one was
so we had coverage in the local press, in the print.
Yes.
We also had coverage across a number of digital platforms like Urban List, the Weekend Edition, those sorts of.
You got some traction in that.
Got some traction on those spaces.
Yeah.
And then we also got some traction across social media. Facebook was the main platform that we used. We created an event. We collaborated with a very iconic social media or fashion blogger or op shop blogger who we utilised her connection in order to, I guess, raise awareness for the event. The first we ran. This was the second of 2 events that we'd run this year. The first we ran with limited PR. That was just prior to me getting involved with them, and we had through that event there was about 300 people that came through that event. We then which was we were delighted with that response. However, we then looked at the event and ran it again with a few tweaks, and obviously we ran a fairly comprehensive PR campaign, and we saw nearly 800 people come through.
Oh wow!
The same, or this latest event we saw come through.
So sort of 3 times,
almost, like yeah. And that was a combination. As I was saying to you, it was a combination of print, digital, and social media that we used, which I believe, made the campaign as effective as it could have been.
So that's the thing. So it's a try and try again thing around PR until you do strike it rich, or strike that credibility note, or strike that, get the number of people through the door.
Yeah, there's certainly a formula, I think, and there's that saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So we made sure that we cast a wide enough net that nothing slipped through the cracks, and that we were going to get a response, if not as good as the first, or better, and the response was overwhelming. So we were delighted at the AJ Collective as the ones that ran the PR, but also the guys behind